Hello, everyone. Welcome to SBC Live. I'm Josiah Robinson Leary, your host. I'm here with Zach Collier. I'm here with Jason Glick. And today, I want to talk football. So, through 12 weeks of NFL football, two guys have stood out to me. Through an injury of Justin Jefferson, two guys that we really haven't expected to broke out. Receiver Jalen Rager, after being seen as a bust in Philadelphia, reinvents himself in Minnesota, and right now he's topping 1,200 yards. And to be honest, I'm quite surprised by that. And he's followed by N'Keal Harry, who's also a receiver for the Minnesota Vikings, who's also topped 1,000 yards so far. I am shocked how these receivers put up insane performances on the same team in absence of the proclaimed best receiver in the NFL. What are your thoughts on this, Zach?
I mean, Rager left a lot on the table, being like one of the only busts in the first round with the class with a lot of good receivers, including Jefferson. So I think he definitely had a lot left to prove, and it looks like right now he's finally getting his chance.
All right. What are your thoughts on this, Jason?
Yeah, it's great to see Jalen Rager finally get his chance. It was a bit rough in Philly, as you said, coming out of TCU. There wasn't really much that he had to offer. I wouldn't call him like I guess he wasn't really misused, but because he did play poorly. But I would say I would like to have seen him get more opportunities. And this is a great spot for him now with Justin Jefferson going out with a huge injury that I hope he recovers from. And Jordan Addison also had a small injury that we don't really know when he's going to come back. Hopefully, it's later in the season. But, at this point in the season, we see someone like Jalen Rager really coming into his own and putting up the 1,200-yard stat line. I mean, it's amazing to see. And I think the Vikings, they've proven that they're able to find good receivers pretty much out of nowhere. And I think a lot of the credit is going to go to Kirk Cousins finding ways to make guys who don't seem like great. I mean, someone like N'Keal Harry, as you mentioned, who also has 1,000 yards this year and is making a case for a Pro Bowl spot this year. I find it remarkable from Kirk Cousins, and I think we need to start putting Kirk Cousins in the elite quarterback conversation in that tier one spot because of how Kirk Cousins has been playing. He's been incredible, and this team would not be here if he was not be able to get those guys open.
And I really love that point you mentioned, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has a knack for making his receivers look good. And right now, his stat line looks amazing, and I'm really impressed with his performance. And it seems that we have breaking news. There's a little technical issues, can't really get it to me, but James Harden has been traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. Wow. Now, James Harden got his wish in L.A., and right now we're still working on to find the package what the Sixers got for him. But what are your initial thoughts? James Harden in a Clippers jersey. How are you feeling about this, Jason?
I think it's going to be a great fit for the Clippers. They've been looking for a guy who can be a floor general, and they tried it out with Russell Westbrook, and he's still there. But I think James Harden's really going to be able to facilitate for them and have someone like Russell Westbrook maybe come off the bench and drop a nice 15-point stat line. And you also have to combine this with the fact that hopefully he's not in this trade, but Paul George might still be there and not get traded to Philly because the goal was to keep James Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard all on the same team when initially constructing this deal a few months ago, and it kind of fell apart. But if they're able to keep Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook, Ivica Zubac, and a lot of other those guys, I think this is a great trade here for the LA Clippers. I'm curious to see what the Philadelphia 76ers get in return. But as of now, I think this is the Clippers' best chance to win a championship, and this year might be their lone year of a championship window at this rate.
And one thought that came to my mind after seeing a trade like this, you have Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and James Harden on the same team. Now, they're all spectacular NBA players, but one thing we have to keep in mind is the injury concern. Three of these players haven't completed a full season since 2018. So I don't know how this team's going to hold up. I don't know if they're durable enough. I want to get your thoughts on that, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty great team what they have right here, three superstars, but it's always difficult to hold it together, especially if one gets injured. Then does someone else have to step up? Can they still make it with only two? It's always interesting seeing that story play out. I think it's going to be really interesting going down the stretch if that is what happens.
Yeah, and with the injury concern, I just don't know if these players are consistent enough. Year after year, we've seen James Harden fall short in the playoffs, and around 2020 throughout the bubble, we all know Paul George had his struggles through the playoffs. So I don't think this team is poised for a deep playoff run, but there can be some good regular season action seen by these guys. And I think that'll wrap it up for SBC Live. I'm your host, Josiah Robinson Leary. I'm here with Zach Collier, and I'm here with Jason Glick, and we thank you guys for watching.